Coach, what's the update that you have with your running back situation?
Right now, we're all available and ready for practice. Everybody was out there today, full speed, full go. Guys look really good. You know, a couple of we just got to be smart with how we rep them. You know what I'm saying? Some of those injuries or some of those things that happen in the game, just bumps and bruises, wear and tear the course of the game.
Because you had to, battle some of that last year with Tyon being out at times, Jabari being out at times, do you feel like you've got a good, plan for managing that? And then if you had to go worst case scenario and go to outside one of those four, is there a direction you'd go?
Right now, to answer your first question, yes. We kind of been through this battle before as far as rotating guys, making sure we do a great job of prepping guys throughout the week. And a big part of that is how we go about prepping them as far as in the meetings, on the practice field, because we got to be smart. We can't wear their bodies down just because we're a body or two not available at some practices. So we kind of got a good plan. We kind of got some precedents as far as from last year. As far as what was your second question, Austin? Yeah, right now, as an emergency guy, P. Fant did a good job today taking some reps in the backfield for us, alternating time between tight end and running back. Looked really good actually today. Just kind of getting him ready, and always having an emergency guy. You always got to have a contingency plan for anything that may happen.
What'd you see in Jaylen Wright on Saturday?
Jaylen's done a really good job of trying to change his running style from being a true freshman last year. We talk about a lot of vertical runs, hitting the ball more downhill, being a lot more successful doing that. You can see he was trying to be a lot more physical, running the football, breaking more tackles, things that you didn't really see from last year for two reasons. One, because of his just, youth coming into games, but also, two, just from a standpoint of he just kind of didn't know, playing like a high schooler at times. This year, went through spring, had a little spell during fall camp, but we talked about a lot of things as far as playing underneath your pads, playing behind your pads. That's one of the things he has to get better at as he moves forward and continues to grow in the running back position. But for the most part, really saw a violent guy trying to break tackles, trying to be more physical with the ball in his hand.
Jerry, how would you assess the running game just through 3 games this season?
Continue, work in progress, continue to improve every single day. You can see we took a step, I think, last week against Akron, just for the simple fact, getting different bodies involved, different people involved. You saw a glimpse of Sampson, obviously, in the game. Jaylen Wright did some good things. So I think it's kind of a work in progress. The things that you see is we've done a really good job, I think, of improving in the pass pro aspect of it, but we got to continue to do a good job of being pad +2, not fumbling the ball, not turning the ball over. We didn't turn the ball over at all last week, which is really good for us.
Adam, and then back to Jim.
You said it's a work in progress. Are you more confident or about the same confidence level in your running backs, just running the ball as you were coming into the season?
Probably more confident because now we've got a chance to see an older Jaylen Wright have some success on the field. He's had some games where we've had some long runs. He's had a couple of touchdowns under his belt. This time last season, we weren't at that point. We weren't at a situation where we felt really comfortable putting him in the game and felt really comfortable or some of the things that we asked him to do. We tried to limit and minimize the playbook to put him in the best situation. But now I think he has everything at him. He has the entire playbook under his belt. Obviously, which we could have saw a little bit more Jabari last week. Was really excited about seeing him kind of have that breakout game this year. But I told him just to be patient because he's on the way. We have total confidence in what he can do, and he's continued to practice well.
Coach, a couple of things. South Florida ran for 286 yards on Florida. What allowed them to have success, and what do you think of Florida's run defense?
First of all, South Florida did a really good job from a formational standpoint. We thought shifting and motion and trying to create some leverage and trying to create some different gaps, I thought, on that defense versus Florida. The other thing is the quarterback ran the ball extremely well. That was a big part of their success. The quarterback was able to have some success running the ball, whether it was design runs or whether he scrambled and things like that. And I think for us, that's not really always a part. We try to do a good job of attacking that defense however we see fit, depending on what our personnel looks like and how healthy people are. So, just from their standpoint, though, I thought the shifts, the motions, the trades, and also the quarterback run game gave them a chance to be really successful in the run game.
And even though Dylan Sampson's a freshman, has he earned your trust to play him in a game of this magnitude?
He definitely has. Not only what he does on the practice field, how he carries himself in the building. I think all those things play a big part in when you decide to give a guy basically the football. He has our entire livelihood in his hands when he carries the football, and we trust Dylan 100% to step on the field and execute whatever assignment we have, and whether that be running the ball or blocking at the best of his ability.
Hey, Coach. Yesterday, Josh Heupel mentioned that the first time somebody brought up the Tennessee-Florida rivalry was about 30 seconds after he arrived on campus. When was the first time that you learned about how important this game is?
Oh, man, I grew up watching Peyton Manning try to beat old ball coach all the time. So, I grew up watching those rivalries all the time. So, from a young age, I understand, how important this. When I was growing up, Florida and Tennessee were the top teams in the East, and they would battle back and forth every single year. So, walking in the door, I always understood how important this rivalry was.
You mentioned having everyone available today. How much was Jabari able to do, and how do you kind of manage his workload moving forward throughout the week?
Yeah, I think, first of all, he was able to do everything. He finished the entire practice, 21, 22 periods, whatever we have. He did every part of practice. We didn't have to kind of limit him from a standpoint of because of his health. It was more of us being smart with just the workload. And that's no different than what we normally do during the course of a week. We're always monitoring those guys' workload with our GPS system that we have on those guys to make sure that we're not overworking them so they can be prepared. It was a little hotter than normal, than we probably expected at practice. So just making sure body maintenance post-practice and before meetings and things like that, they do a good job of getting in the cold tub and getting in the treatment room and doing those types of things. But for the standpoint of as far as how we monitor them, no different really than we have been.
You update us on Justin Williams-Thomas, the progress he's making?
Justin's coming along. He's doing a good job. He got some playing time last week, got a couple of carries. I think he had one run, it was 3rd and 1, third and short situation, and he kept his feet driving on contact, was able to create 7 yards as opposed to just 1 yard. Those are some of the things that we continue to talk to him about, just being a violent runner with the ball in his hands, the authority that he hits the hole with. So, he's in a reserve role right now, but he always knows his number can be called at any given time. You see how fast we end up getting down the depth chart a little bit in the game in Akron. The same situation could happen each and every week. So all them guys got to be ready and prepared to play no matter what.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.